Alrighty guys, welcome to my garage. We're not out camping, we're not out fishing, we're not out four-wheel driving, we're in my garage this episode. Alrighty, so the reason why I'm here. When I was over in Europe, there was an episode I was watching, I think it was 24/7, four driving 24/7, and one of the comments was, how do you know what to take camping, what to pack, etc. And I thought about that for a while. I was like, yeah, you're right. There's no real videos of people packing the car, going through what they actually pack and why they're packing this particular gear. They just really show the destinations they're going to and the destination and the fishing spots, etc. So I thought I'd make a video for those that don't do a lot of camping, that sort of want to know what to take, and yeah, give you a bit of confidence in packing the car and heading off. Same process we use every time, so whether it's 1 night, 2 nights, 5 nights, 2 weeks, we use the exact same process every time. The only thing that varies is the water and the food, pretty much. Alright, so this is what we pack every time into our camping trips. There's a lot of gear there. Do you believe that all that, minus the ladder of course, fits into Beastie here, the Mighty 105 series? And there's a lot of gear that's already in there, which I'll go through later. That's already in there, including like fridges and stuff like that. But for now, I'll go through step 1, and the first step is the list. The list. Okay, here is the list. All right, so there's probably the most, or second most important thing. The most important thing is this, which we'll go into pretty soon, but it's the second most important thing while camping, because you will forget something every time without fail if you do not have a list and go through it. I can guarantee you. There was one trip that I was pretty confident. We'd been doing a lot of camping for a while then, and I was like, yeah, no, we're all sweet, didn't use a list. Totally forgot the pillows. Had all the bedding gear, but just not the pillows. So the wife, yeah, she called me some pretty funny names that day, and it wasn't exactly the most comfortable sleep. So I swear by the list. Every time you go camping, you'll go, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea if I took this next time. And you just add it and keep adding, and before long, you'll have a list, a massive list. It is important you do not need all this gear to go camping. If you just want a cool weekend away with a couple of mates, a tent, esky full of piss, and a pillow, and that's all you really need. Just chuck it in the back of a camp chair. That's all you really need to have a weekend away. I sort of had an idea when I was doing a lot of camping at the start, and that led to another idea, that led to another idea, and then it led to all this. So you don't need to have all this to have a good weekend away. A couple of mates, an esky and a camp chair and tent, and you're all sweet. So this is sort of the glamping side of things. Alright, so we'll start going through the list. Okay, number 1 is the fishing gear. So even though all my fishing gear for our camping trips in the cruiser, all the fishing gears stays in the cruiser, and a lot of gear stays in the cruiser that is on this list, but sometimes when I'm doing work to the cruiser, I take it out, and sometimes I forget to put it back, so I keep it on the list for that reason. But all the fishing gear is already in there. I've got 4 rods in there, I've got 2 reels, so I've got 2 boat rods to go with that boat, and 2 land-based fishing rods, and both those reels are good enough for either one. So that always stays in there. Rod holders, which are in the back drawer. The tent, I'll be a bit worried if I forgot the tent, because that is a pretty main part that lives on top of the cruiser. The max tracks, which are always permanently on the cruiser. Once again, just leave them on the list. You just never know if you take them off or something like that. The shovel, once again, is always on top of the cruiser. Jerry cans. Now, I don't really need jerry cans. I just fitted a sub tank, a split sub tank on the back, so I don't really need jerry cans for water. I don't really need jerry cans for fuel. So I've got 210 litres of fuel, and I've got 2 water tanks, permanent water tanks in the cruiser. One's 50 litres, one's 55. I don't really need jerry cans, but I'm going to leave it on there anyway, just in case we have a big mission one day. We go through the middle of Australia or something like that and we do need to carry extra fuel. I'll leave that on there. There's no harm done. All right, sleeping bag, pillows, sheets. That's a no-brainer, and that's the thing I forgot. So I got no brain. All right, so this is the main one. The number one thing I've got to stress the most about is water. And we carry these big drinking water. So we obviously got the tanks on the cruiser. We just use them for showers and washing up and stuff like that. We can drink the water if we want to, but it doesn't taste the best. So we carry water containers like this. Get these at Coles, Woolworths, wherever. Everyone's intake of water is obviously different. We use one of these. Basically, between the two of us, Flav doesn't drink a lot of water. She's only tiny. I drink heaps. So sort of anything over 30 degrees, in our destination of 30 degrees, we would use probably one of these a day. So I calculate that for one a day. We did a trip to Shark Bay recently, not the last one, but the one before, and it was so hot that we actually went through our whole water supply and we were down to the tanks in the cruiser. And that sort of alarmed me a bit because I thought I was carrying enough water for both of us for a long time, for 3 days instead of 2 kind of thing. So I just had the dries. It was 40 plus degrees, there was no wind at all, and we're pumping up the boat, and I was walking the motor to the beach in over 40 degree heat, which was through sand and everything. I just got really, really hot, and I just couldn't get my thirst back. Sorry, I was just too thirsty, and I couldn't get my liquids in enough. So yeah, that was a bit of a scare, that one. Sort of a wake-up call as well, just to carry another one on top of that. So if you think you only need 1, take 2. If you think you only need 2, take 3. So always carry too much water. That's my biggest tip. Toothbrush and toiletries, don't forget them. Thongs and shoes, depending on which destination you go to, hot climates, cold climates. Ugg boots are a big thing as well. When camping, camp chairs, make sure they're on your list. Towels. One thing I do forget a lot actually is towels, and I'm glad I put this on the list. I had to air dry a few times. A bucket, always have a bucket. You never know when you're going to need it. The Sony little boom box, I'm sure everybody has one of these. Not this brand, but a little Bluetooth speaker. Make sure you don't forget that. Camping's not the same without music. Onto the kitchen. So we have a little fold-out kitchen over there. It folds down pretty compact, which is good. Pots, pans, stove, the 2-burner stove. Spices, so all your seasoning and stuff like that. You don't want to cook a steak and have no seasoning. That's in my opinion. Salt, pepper and all that. Bin bags. Bin bags is a big one for me as well. Please, please, please clean up after what you do. Our campsites and everything and 4-drive tracks are getting shut down everywhere around Australia because the mess is just crazy. There's nothing worse rocking up to a campsite and there's just rubbish everywhere. It drives me insane that happens, and that's the reason why everything's getting shut down. Please take a bin bag and just take more than what you come with. If you see a bit more rubbish, just put it in there. It's not that hard, and it's good for the next person, and so on. Next, the Yeti cups. We have my wife and I have a Yeti cup each for drinks. Fillet knife, obviously, if we it's not just for fishing. If we're cutting up meat or whatever, it's handy for that as well. Gas bottle. You can't cook without gas. Cooking with gas. Drill and the grinder. Some of our pegs that we own actually are screw-in pegs, and we use a drill to screw them in, especially in the red dirt country like Exmouth and inland like Pilbara and stuff like that. Trying to hammer in a peg is pretty impossible, and they've got these screw-in pegs now, and that makes life so much easier. So I've got the drill for that, and if something breaks on the cruiser or anything like that and I need to get the drill or drill holes, I can do that. And the same with the grinder. If something breaks, I need to cut it off, or yeah, something like that. MacGyver something, I've got the grinder as well. Beach umbrella, which we don't really take much of, we don't really need it, but it's on the list as well. You guys won't need the GoPros or drones unless you're doing your own videos. Nurofen is a big one as well. Make sure you got it, because there's nothing worse than a headache that won't bugger off when you're camping. The fishing esky, which you probably won't need yourself unless you're into fishing. The next one is the toilet. So the portable toilet that we take with us, the chemical toilet, if you want to call it that. A lot of places these days, a lot of campsites, all have drop toilets. We don't take that a lot on a lot of destinations because we go to a lot of these places these days. But if we're going to places in the middle of nowhere, we'll definitely take that. And that just lives on top of the roof rack. Definitely not inside the car. Wet wipes, they're very handy. Pegs, that's a no-brainer if you've got a tent, hammock or anything like that. Pegs. Phone chargers, don't forget your phone chargers. Laptop, which only if we're going on week-long trips, we'll take a laptop just so we can download everything off the GoPros, and so the SD cards don't run out. Life jackets, that's a no-brainer. That's just a safety thing for the boat. The little 6 horsepower motor, that basically lives in the cruiser as well. The boat, of course, which is that big ass thing right there. After the boat, we have the 24 amp hour battery. So that's the little battery that we use in the boat when we're going out. So that lives inside the esky. That powers the GPS, the little Garmin GPS that we have, and also powers the pump. I've got a little electric pump, 12 volt pump, sorry, which we use for the boat, which is good because we can just take it down there, pump it up at the actual water rather than pumping it up at the cruiser and then walking it down, which is good. The other one is our tent charging station. So this little guy here, and we're back. The camera overheated. All right, so I was up to this guy. This is a little portable battery pack, 24 amp hour, they're through iTech World. We just use this to charge our phones, charge our little Sony boom box as well, and also it can run the fan, the camp fan if it's super hot. And then we have a 100-watt solar panel that we can hook up to that, and usually charges it pretty good during the day, providing the sun. And we can get, yeah, even if we didn't have the 100-watt, if we're just charging phones and the little boom box, get about 3 days, 4 days out of it just on its own. So it's pretty good like that. But if we're staying for a week whatsoever, we will definitely hook up the solar. Okay, next on the list, and probably the equal first we'll go, is all the safety gear. So we've got snake bite kit, we have first aid kit, and we've got a personal GPS locator device. So if shit turns bad, real bad, snake bite, whatever, we get lost or things get cut off, roads get cut off from floods or whatever, you push this button and it's sort of like a last resort, and then you'll have all the authorities coming over trying to find you in their little helicopter. And shout out to those guys that do an awesome job. Alright, gas hot water system. Not everyone's going to have a hot shower in their cruiser or in their four-wheel drive. We definitely do. I've got a wife that loves to wash her hair. She's got me convinced that it's all going to fall out if she doesn't wash her hair. What else? We got extension lead. We don't use it. We don't need it, but it's there. It's on the list if we do. Snorkel gear. Pretty self-explanatory. Not everyone's into snorkeling, but we definitely take our snorkel gear. I want to get into spearfishing. I've got everything except the spear gun. So I had a bit of an incident with a gidgee spear a little while ago, and ended up putting two prongs through my fingers. It wasn't good. But it took a while to get back to normal, but the fingers are back to normal. Stand-up paddleboard, as you can see behind me, that rolls up. the beauty thing with all this gear here, and it took me hours of thought to go into it, is it all packs up pretty flat, and I can fit it in that cruiser with enough space for everything. Okay, after the sup we have the mattress. So we got this Intex Premier, it's called, from BCF. It's queen bed. It's about knee high, so you're up off the ground, which is awesome. I never thought I'd say this, but it is the most comfortable bed that we've slept on camping-wise. It hands down, it is. I'm pretty bloody impressed. It's got really good side support for a blow-up bed for starters. Yeah, I never thought I'd actually say that a blow-up bed is actually really good. We've used it for a little while now. I didn't want to do any kind of review on it until we actually use it for a little while, and so far, pretty bloody impressed. Definitely recommend. Because it is so big, sort of inside the tent has gone from this big to this big. So we're going to end up selling the RV3 tent and just go up to the RV5. We love that tent so bloody much. If you got the money and you want to do it, you do a bit of camping, jump on the RV tents. They are unbelievable. Alright, and the very last thing that's on our list is all our clothes, obviously. My recommendation for camping, swap out the bags for these tubs. You will never go back to a bag once you've used the tub. I guarantee you. Bags, I used to use bags and that was just so frustrating. You want a pair of jocks, you got to bloody pull everything out to find them. Definitely recommend one of them for your clothes. You will not turn back. Alright, that's our list done. Everyone's list is definitely going to be different. This is just a list that I've put together and it works for us. But yeah, definitely make up your own list. It will make things a lot easier. Alright, so what I'll do now is I will compact all this back down. I'll show you how compact it gets and how I can fit it into the cruiser. I will go through everything that's currently in the cruiser as well and how I've done that to a point. I won't go full mode on the cruiser, but I'll just show you how we pack stuff in there. And then once I've done that, I will pack all that in there and show you how I do it and how much room I've still got left after all this. Anyways, I will do the whole clicky thummy thing. Boom, just like that. The power of editing, eh? Alright, so that's what it all breaks down to. It's pretty compact what's there. As you will see, it is still a lot of gear there. So all that fits in or on top of the cruiser. We do have the luxury of having just behind the front seats, as we do not have kids and we don't plan to have any kids at all. So we do have that luxury of having a bit more extra space. One thing I will big tip from me is when you're going to set up your camp setup, so your tent and your chairs and your stoves and your kitchens and everything, make sure you measure up inside your car, whether it's a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, big, small, just measure up the inside of your car, because you don't want to go out and buy this nice big armchair because it's comfortable and then get it home and you can't fit it in your car. So that's a big tip from me. Now the cruiser we only use for touring and 4-wheel driving. We don't use it for around town. It would cost an absolute fortune. That is the petty straight 6 for anyone that wants to know, and it drinks a lot of fuel. So I would be completely broke if it was our runaround car as well, as much as I love driving it. So yeah, the reason why all the gear comes out of it is just purely because I clean the absolute crap out of that car. Every trip that we come back, I spend 2 or 3 hours cleaning underneath, the outside, inside as well. So that's the only reason why that gear is out of it. And then yeah, we just chuck it in each time we go. I will go through what's in the cruiser now before I start packing stuff in and showing how I pack it all in. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be a few people that'll be interested in what's on the inside of this. Alright, we'll start at the middle row. We'll start with the bug spray and the sunscreen. Don't forget that every camping trip. You can see the advantage of not having kids. There's quite a bit more room utilised, that's for sure. This is the compressor, especially if we're doing a lot of sand travelling, which we do a lot of. We love ocean camping, so yeah, that's in there. I've been waiting for this thing to die for ages so I can get the ARB one, but it just keeps on going. It's like the cheapest bloody compressor money can buy, but it just keeps on going, so I ain't complaining. The fire extinguisher, that's pretty self-explanatory. Anyone that's jumped on the channel, I just did a video about installing this from start to finish, if that interests anybody. The sound of these is just unbelievable now that they're up high. But that's just getting a bit off topic there. In these little cupboards here, it's just storage. Just keep the buckets, the 12-volt fan, so on the hot nights we can just chuck that in the tent. This is a 12-volt pump that is unbelievable. Highly recommend for anyone that has a stand-up paddle board. It'll do ours in about 2 to 3 minutes, I reckon it'd probably take to get it fully pumped up. And the boat takes about 5 minutes, which is pretty impressive for how big that boat is. So definitely recommend one of them. The jack as well. There's going to be a few more tools in there eventually as well. In here is just all my tools. So this is the area that's used the least out of the whole car. So when it's fully packed, it's just an area that I don't really need to get into unless I really have to fix something on the cruiser or someone else's car. Yeah, so don't really need to use this area very often, so that's why it's got all the tools in it. Rubber gloves definitely recommend for anyone that needs to change a wheel bearing or anything like that. Spanners, socket sets, all wiring clips and everything like that, it's all in there as well. This is where the drill and the grinder live as well. Up the top there we have our fishing rods for anyone that loves their fishing. One of them is a boat rod, the other one's a land-based rod that folds down, and we've also got 2 up here as well, exactly the same. So that's the back little section. Definitely see the advantage of not having kids, hey? In here, anyone new to the channel, this is just a little fishing setup. Gotta love it. I love my fishing. And that drawer folds out as well. All the gear. And we'll move to the back. Okay, the back. Alright, we'll start with the left drawer. All our kitchen utensils, everything's all in here. Pots, pans, coffee grinder maker thingy, whatever they call it. I don't drink coffee. The wife does. Yeti cups, that's all in there, and I put my my speaker and little 24 amp battery pack thing in there as well. Dishwashing stuff, bin bags, spices, it's all there. In the right side we have the hot water service for gas hot water for the shower, which is there, folds out. This comes out, sits on this post here, for anyone that's wondering why this post is here. And yeah, just hook the gas bottle up to that and we've got hot showers. It just connects to here, the water tank's in there. Water tank's in there, that's the one that holds about 50, I think it's about 53 litres. And then yeah, just hooks up, keeps the wife happy. These are the camp lights. I bought these from King's bloody almost 10 years ago, and they are still working 100% perfectly, and they were like a tenth of the price of the other ones, and they're bright as. Pretty happy with them, as you can tell. And these are just the red tubes for land-based fishing. And it all sits in there quite nice. Everything's got a little spot in this cruiser, so I know exactly where everything is at all times. I pack the cruiser exactly the same every time, and I can access everything still, even when the cruiser is fully loaded. Here we've got the pegs. These are those screw-in pegs I was telling you about with the drill earlier. Sand pegs, normal pegs, they're all there for all different grounds. The head torch, definitely recommend them for whoever, for everyone at camp. Spare batteries are there. All the straps, tie downs, everything's all there as well. Tailgate, very handy mod for anyone that hasn't done it, and it's got a Landcruiser. I think they do patrols, everything actually. So anyone's got a tailgate, I'm sure Hurricane Fabrication will be able to do it. This is where I usually put the life jackets, the hammer, the spare bags for fishing and stuff like that, bait. Definitely recommend getting a brush for anyone that does camping on the beach. Just put that in front of your tent and just brush down your feet every time you're going into your tent, I guarantee you, you'll be happy. You don't drag in half the beach into your tent. That's the extension handle for the boat motor. Reef boots for me and the wife. Puncture repair kit, jumper leads, and spare goggles for snorkeling. All fit in there. Up top we have just a little shelf that has the paper towel and the shit tickets. I just recently put this in, actually, not long ago. If you want to jump on the channel and check it out, more than welcome to. But that's pretty much the back before everything goes in. On the passenger side we have a 22-inch TV, access TV, a little switchboard, so it's got 2 fridges, air compressor, the TV, I can isolate the TV as well, and the water pump. In here we've got both the fridges. This is 65 litre brass monkey. Would I recommend one of these? I'm not sure I would. I had to get a little fan inside just to get everything evenly cool. It was real patchy before I put that fan in. The little brass monkey chest thing though, that's a different story. I recommend these are unreal for keeping everything cool. So that can be fridge or freezer, which is handy if we're going fishing and bringing back fish. In here is just the storage for all our food. So it all depends on how many days, obviously, we go for. 1, 2, 5, 14, like I said. You can fit a lot of food in there. You'd be surprised how much you can actually fit in there. Alright, and all our water and beer and drinks all go in here. So it's nice and low, keeps the weight down. Yeah. So that's the cruiser with everything out of it. As you can see, there's still a fair bit of gear in there, and there's a fair bit of room in there as well. So we'll jump into this. I'll show you how I put everything in there and the reason why I do it the way I do it. It would have been handy if this garage door was a bit higher, because after every wash I would just put the tent and everything back on the roof. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But unfortunately the roof's not high enough. Anyways, I will start putting this in. I'll switch to neck cam, because I'm going to need 2 hands, and yeah, we'll walk you through it. The first item that always goes in is the little 6 horsepower. Now I know everyone's not going to have one of these in there or on their list, but I'll just show you what I do anyway, for anyone that is interested. So we'll just undo this. Now everyone will probably go, oh gee, those Titan drawers are bloody weak as piss, blah 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 blah. Yeah, they can be, but I've reinforced underneath for this purpose. The last thing we want is this thing coming through into the front cab if we're in an accident. So this thing comes in like this, and we just do it up. We'll just do one side up for now, just to show you, and then well, we'll do both. And then these, I've got a strap in here that I strap these down. It's reinforced underneath, and once these are all done up tight, is not going absolutely anywhere, I can tell you now. And that just slides in and locks in. Next is the table. Actually, we'll put these in. So the life jackets just go in the back here in the tailgate. They just fit in there like so. You're amazed at what you can fit in these little tailgates. It was just waste of space otherwise. Alrighty, so this is the stand-up paddleboard. We won't put that in just yet. That goes in the back. The table. So I've made this absolutely perfect size. So that fits in there absolutely perfect. Cannot get any bigger table. Now I do have a couple of other different table options that I sometimes take instead of this one. Just all depends on what we're doing and where we're camping. Alright, and then onto our heavy items are down the bottom. So this is the little kitchen that folds back down into this bag. It's probably about maybe 10 kilo, 12 kilo. This goes here like so. And the reason why I put that trap door there is to stop everything sliding forward. There is another option too of standing that up. It's still not going to slide forward, so that is the other option as well. So now we'll put that down. So we've got the little cooker and the tail and the solar panel. So the cooker can go in like so. That fits in there nicely standing up. Once again, it can't slide forward. This goes in there because I forgot to put it in, but it goes in over this side like so. Yeah, slides in there, nice and easy. It's just one big game of Tetris, really. It really is. It just goes on top there. And our chairs will go on top. Our toilet will go on top. Our boat. And our fins, snorkel gear, that all goes in as well. Like so. Now the boat, it is a heavy item, and yes, it can slide into the front, but I do strap this down when it's inside. So that just goes up in here like so. And that's the back all packed up. So all the big, heavy, bulky items are in the back, so they can't slide forward. You don't want to be jumping on your brakes for any reason, and stuff, big, heavy stuff coming, hitting you in the back of the head. That's the worst thing that can happen, I reckon. This is where our, picture these as full of clothes. These usually have mine and Flavia's clothes in there. So these go in, like so. The stand-up paddleboard slots in here, like so. Everything is in a very, very snug fit. That way nothing moves as well when we're traveling, which is very, very handy. Nothing worse than things squeaking and squawking, I can tell you. Alrighty. And then we've got our little fishing esky. This is usually full of all the fishing gear as well. And it goes in like so. Nothing's going to move. Obviously, when we get pillows and stuff like that, we chuck them on top. The bedding and stuff like that will be on top as well. So if we do jump on the brakes real suddenly, or we have hopefully not ever have an accident, but if we ever have an accident, we're only going to get the pillows and the doona come through into the front. And yeah, we usually tie that boat down as well. So I don't think it'll get past here anymore, but yeah, you never know. All right, so that's pretty much everything that's in the cruiser. The water obviously goes on the other side. I showed you where that goes. I'm not going to bother putting that in. In the back, that's all done. Everything shuts up, and we can still see out the back from the revision mirror, which is one thing I've always wanted to do. So make sure I can still do it. And that shuts like that. Now, I'm sure there's a few of you that are actually thinking, geez, that's a lot of weight in that Landcruiser. You are correct. There's 210 litres of fuel, there's 100 litres of water, there's all the drinking water that we take as well, all our gear, boat motor, boat, all the gear on top, bar work, bigger wheels. Yes, it is a lot of weight in this cruiser. I'm just going through the 4.2 tonne GVM upgrade for anyone that doesn't know, doesn't follow the channel. So it will be all covered. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. I'm just waiting for the rear diff housing to come in. So far I've done the springs, the front diff housing, the brakes. So I've got 200 series brakes on this 105. Packard Automotive do a kit and it is unbelievable. And also, if you want a discount, if you've got a 105 series or an 80 series, I think they do a 79 series and a 76 conversion as well to 200 series brakes. jump on Packard Automotive. They've given me the opportunity to offer you guys a discount of 10%. BN10 is the code word. Quote that to them and they will give you a 10% discount. Definitely recommend, because those brakes are amazing. All right, we'll spin this cruiser around and I'll just loosely put them up there, show you how I put them up there, and yeah, we'll finish this video. All right, just in case you're wondering where all the recovery gear is, obviously this is the Max Tracks here. I don't really need to get recovered too often. I have a Landcruiser. Nah, joking. This little toolbox on the top here, this has all, hopefully I can point it the right direction, has all our recovery gear in here. The reason why I've done this is so if we do get bogged in the mud or whatever, we don't have to open the car up just to get to the recovery gear. It's all on the outside ready to go. Just jump up here and grab it, and then if it does get all mud and crap all over it, it just goes back into here, it doesn't go back in the car. So very handy to have on the outside, ready to go if we need to. Big advantage of having a tailgate on your car is you can use it as a bench, and you can also stand on it, which is very, very handy for when you're putting stuff on the roof. Alrighty, so first things first, the tent goes up. I made sure I had a big enough space for it to go on top. Easy as that. The toilet, if we do take it, that is, and that just sits in. So this is actually a dual jerry can holder, and it just fits in absolutely perfect in between that. So that holder is multi-purpose, and it also holds a nice bag of firewood if we need to as well. So that sits up there and obviously gets strapped down. Chairs. Chuck that up. Get the gas bottle. Chuck that on. It goes here. Now I am going to change this little gas bottle. I'm going to turn it into two kilo gas bottles, and I'm just getting a little thing made up for it. So, but it's here for now. Anyone who's wondering what that box is at the front, that's a little box I made up. It's just got the oars, the aluminium floor for that boat, the anchor and the seat in there. It fits in there absolutely pretty flush and perfect. The solar panel on top of that as well. So yeah, I get 170 watts of solar, that paired with the front one. And then the seats just go there on the side. And that is a fully packed Landcruiser. Now I've tried to keep as much weight off the roof rack, so pretty light items on the top, just purely for if we are doing a lot of forward driving, we don't want to be top heavy. So yeah, we keep the weight down the bottom or underneath the car. And that is a fully packed Landcruiser, ready to go. Well, we're going to end the video right there, guys. I really hope that sort of helped a few people get a bit of confidence in packing for a camping trip. It's not that hard. You learn something every time you go. So definitely jump on the list. Make sure you make a list, and it makes it so much easier. For anyone that's been camping for a long time, I'm sure there was a tip or two or an idea that I've done in the cruiser to help you out as well. Anyone that's keen to know more about the cruiser, there is a whole lot of videos on the actual channel, and also fishing and camping as well. We do a little bit of everything. Anyways, we'll end it there. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I don't know what we're going to be doing next, but we're always doing something. Cheers.